Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to H Capture Live. I'm your host, Harry Bridgeforth, and today I have with me a very special friend, a very special guest, author, poet, host, Mr. Dre Romero.
Yeah, there we go. How you doing, my brother?
Almost didn't get it, right?
My birthday
And
twin.
my birthday twin. What's going on, bro?
Yes.
So
I'm all
we
right.
gotta,
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to speak to you, do this interview. I know we got a chance to do the social media cross paths, and then we got a chance to really link up last week. So it was a blessing for us to like kind of kick it and share it.
It's kind of strange how all that stuff works out. That's why I said it's like I let God handle that, you know, because Lanil with the Save Our Babies. Shout out to Save Our Babies.
Yes,
that was an excellent experience. Me and my son, we went to the game, and me and Dre was laughing and joking beforehand, and we chopped it up. So now, you know, we already planned to do the show. And then we found out later on, it's crazy. Same birthday, you know, almost around the same age, pretty similar lifestyle, all that stuff. So that was cool, man.
And we both yellow.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna stay that way. Come on now.
Right.
Come on now. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about Dre's profession. We're gonna talk about his book that's coming out, a couple of other events that he's a part of, and we're just gonna pick his brain to get some advice. Like I said on my platform, I like to give advice for those who either want to be poets or in the artistic realm of my guest. So we're gonna cater some of the questions to that. The way the show is gonna be broken down, it's gonna be 5 questions that I'm gonna ask Dre, talk about his profession, and then the other questions are gonna be our shotgun questions, this or that, to get preferences on what he likes, some more personal. And then we're going to do a plug at the end, any social media plugs, and then we'll be good to go. Okay?
Let's go.
All right. So going right into it, how'd you get into poetry? How was your introduction to this?
Ironically, when I was 17 years old, I went to Central High School in Bridgeforth. I'm a hilltopper.
Okay.
And I played basketball through my freshman, junior year. My senior year, I decided not to play.
Okay.
And I got I signed into the yearbook committee. Ironically, I don't know why I did it. I just signed into the yearbook committee. And, I was in charge of doing the basketball section. So, we had photos from the basketball team, and then I had to put a caption underneath. And I started putting these different captions that was funny. Like one guy had a finger roll. I said, he must be butter because he's on a roll. It was a finger roll. And, from there, it kind of took off in terms of me learning that I had this ability to write, this ability that God gave me to put these words together. Like I can't rap. I mean, well, if I sat and wrote it, I could. I'm not a freestyler, but if
You're a ghostwriter.
I could be.
You're a ghostwriter.
But when it comes to like this poetry thing, put a pen to pad, I love doing it. So that's kind of how I got started. When I was probably mid-20s, I got a little more deeper into it. I started understanding myself, started coming to my own as a man.
Yep.
And once I did that, I knew that my content would change.
Yeah.
So I started writing a lot of spiritual poetry. And then as I got older, going through some transitions in my life, I started turning to life poetry. So now, my content's a little different based on, social content or like love and relationship. Those are kind of like my main lanes of what I do now in terms of my writing and my poetry.
Okay. So you always take, I think as artists, we always take our life experience and we always utilize that for, inspiration, whether it's good or bad. I think the best art usually is when things are bad in your life, because you can actually put more emotion in, or when everything is great, when you put emotion, you get married or you have a kid, or like, you fall into a whole bunch of money, or like, everything is just going well, then you just want to create something that's positive. And then when things are bad, it's like all the negative energy, you focus that and then you utilize it to make something that's positive. It's just like you working out and you're mad, you're not just sitting there drinking. You work it
Yeah,
out.
no, I didn't come into the money part to write.
I mean, you don't know yet. You don't know what's gonna
No, I
happen.
know. I am. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But I like to think that, Mary J. Blige wrote her best music when she was going through something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you can
So
hear it in her voice. You can hear it in Mary's voice versus when everything was good. When she was on, the worst parts of her
when
life.
she was going through it with KC, you knew
Well,
that's what she was. I like to. For me, I'm a moment person, and I've been a moment person for the last 2 years. So a lot of my books, some are fictional, some are nonfiction. I let the reader decide that. I know if someone sat and like want to do a Q&A and they went through some of my poems and they would say, well, was this real? So there might be a moment in that poem that's real, but the other stuff is just from my imagination.
Yeah.
The best moments are when, like most anything, like when you're with your woman or the one you love. It could be about love. It could be about sex. It could be about intimacy. But no matter what, those make the best wordplay.
Yeah.
It's the best oral play, no pun intended. But it makes the best wordplay. I like to write. I think Puffy said something about Biggie. He said Biggie was only in the studio when he felt something. So I think if I just kept writing, I don't think my material for me won't be as good because it wouldn't have any feeling behind it. So I need to write something when I'm feeling something in order for me to have the best relatable content to the reader, to my audience, to those who like to hear my words.
And I think that's a lot, like when you think about it, right? One of the hardest things about being an artist and using that as a profession is not allowing that to start, dictating how you move in terms of making money. Like you said before, you making money. As soon as you start making money and it's dependable on a certain amount of books, a certain amount of stories, a certain amount of time, a certain amount of, tours and things like that, it starts to lose the quality of your art form. So talking to a lot of artists, it's typical, like for an artist, you would do that whether you got paid or not. It's great to get paid for it because everyone has to survive. But the reality is that you would probably be doing this if you didn't get paid too. So it's kind of like, the idea that you don't want to saturate yourself with it becoming a business. It's still your love. It's a passion. So you have to keep that, you have to find that balance. We're always based on balance, right? So like the idea is that you want to have a little bit of this.
A Libra based on value. You're right.
Yeah, you have to keep it that way in order to make it, like you said, the better content comes from you not oversaturating yourself or not burning yourself out with making stories. And then also the story quality has to be based on time. So time usually takes time. There's no way to get around it. You have to use the amount of wisdom that you have, and that usually takes time. So
I think what I've realized, and even talking to like other poets, that a poet can take 30 minutes to write a masterpiece. Take 30 minutes to write a masterpiece. But it sometimes take a lifetime to let the world hear it.
It's crazy.
And I was in that before I put these books together. I have 3 books that I sold out on Amazon.
That's what's up.
Before I put the books together, like I sat on material for like 12 years because of maybe fear of saying, well, they like this.
Well, do I want to be out there where now I'm getting judged for something that I love to do, whether it's
exactly,
you know what I mean?
So for me, I just like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna put it out there. And I'm extremely fortunate enough to say I put this out. So God forbid, whenever the Most High calls me home, at the end of the day, I have material on there that my children or anybody else can see what I wrote. So I had one book is Black Erotica, is my first book that I wrote in January 2021. It came out. My last 2 books came out in September. One was Love and War, which is also a relationship book. And then the third one is You Can't Mute Me, which is a socially conscious book. And with the recent reels that I've been putting out, my favorite one is I'm Black. And I create this reel and it's getting traction. But that comes from my social conscious book. I know we probably get into this exactly what I do besides being a poet, but I'm also a social worker. So I'm helping families every day. I'm in a fight every day. I don't talk about it because for me, I don't need to. I do it every single day.
Yeah.
So between what I do in my book, that's kind of like my way of giving back
Back to yeah,
to
yeah.
our movement of our people, our
Yeah.
community.
And that's it. And those are two, think about it, those are two huge benefits to community, and then in general, the
Yeah.
people, social work and working on people and their livelihood, mental health, and then also giving someone, like, not only just to watch something, because me being an actor, film is something that's very passionate to me, but you still need a TV to do it. You can't watch anything on, you got to watch on your phone or
Yeah,
something that's
yeah.
digital. A book, you can pick it up, you can travel with you can read a little bit here and there, and you can save it for later. So it's always a good it's always a good thing to have something that stimulates your mind and makes you think something else. So I give credit to people like you, as author. My wife Tasha, she's an author. So it's like there's a lot of different pieces that go into that art form. So just like I said, just keep moving, keep plugging.
I'm gonna piggyback off the movie and actor thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being a poet is very similar to being an actor.
Of course, yeah.
And when I say that is when you're writing, I write as if I'm writing a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're reading it, I want you to picture.
Go in, yeah. You're going in.
I want you to get in it. Like,
yeah.
Now, a lot of my poems are, I don't like to use erotic, but they are, but they're sensual.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for a lot of, it's really for those parts for married couples or relationships and the single women to say, Black love is alive.
Yeah.
Or just love in general. So when I'm writing that aspect of it, it's really a movie. It's not like, it's very essential. I write sensual stuff. I write sensual love, relationships, and civil rights. Mm-hmm. I like to do more of the relationship and love stuff because there's so much negative stuff out in the world. We wake up. Can we cut?
Crazy.
Can I cut?
Crazy.
No? Can I cut?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, so there's a lot of negative shit in the world. Mm-hmm. And we so saturated by death. But when you talk about love, it puts another atmosphere out there. So that's what I'm really trying to show. It's like, we're Black people are loving people.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna talk about it. They always make it seem like that we're on this plane where we're all negative. No, Black people are the most loving people.
I mean, we always talk about that. We're probably the only race that can take a lot because we don't treat people the way they treat us. It's typical that we're able to absorb a lot because we don't treat people.
We don't.
We don't hate on a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. There's problems in every culture, every race. But like, if you were to look at all the things that we've actually dealt with, and going into February, Black History Month, there's a lot of different people that all sacrificed their pride for the greater good in a lot of different situations. Now we benefit this, centuries later. But the reality is, like, there's a lot of different things that come from the decades and decades of these people working and sacrificing, so like the idea is, if you start with hate, you would never get anything done. You got to have a love for something. And that goes into, like, a love for your art, a love for life, a love for family, a love, like, that's the foundation for a lot of success, is that you have to love something first, and then you transition into how do you logistically get these things done. That goes into, like, the next question.
Sure.
What do you need to be a great poet? Like, what are the skills that you need to be a great poet?
One, definitely wordplay. Like, that's very important. Whether it's any writing for lyrics for a song, a hip hop artist, you have to have wordplay. 2, passion. You gotta have passion. You gotta love what you do. And 3, you gotta have drive.
Okay.
Drive. Because if you put all those together, you can create a masterpiece. And it only have to be a masterpiece to everybody, as long as it's a masterpiece to you. Yeah. Because if you love what you do, there's millions of other people that's gonna have that same like mind. So I never put out material based on what anybody else would think. I put out material based on if I like it. If I think it's whack, then Harry's gonna think it's whack.
Yeah. But see, that's what I mean. If you have a passion for something and you do it and it's accomplishment, like you said, you're leaving something behind that your kids will go, oh, great grandpa did that. Oh, that's there for eternity because he actually put the time in. He had a passion for something and he put things into play. A lot of people, they talk, but then they don't do stuff. They don't keep things
Exactly.
thinking, you know?
And the last thing I know, before we got on the air, and I mentioned the 50 Cent thing, when 50 was like, they asked him, do you worry what people think when you say something? He was like, man, I don't, he sounded, he's like, man, I don't. And you
50's he's been pretty successful. So
pretty successful. And you're not offending anybody, but you can't worry about what somebody else thinks. Am I the best writer? No. Am I a great writer? I believe so. You know, am I the best performer? No, there's way more better performers than me. I got some coming up on my show.
Yep.
I know my lane. Will I be in slams? No, that's not my lane. I'm not doing poetry slams because performance-wise, I'm not as good as them. But I know my lane.
Yeah.
I think I've got to a point where people are interested to see what I'm bringing to the table as a poet, because it's not just a poet. I'm a host.
Yeah.
A performer.
And I mean, with anything, it takes time. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the people that you see that are successful, it's not like they just
did overnight.
Are there, you know, and then like everyone that you named in the last, 20 minutes, 50, there's different poets that stand out, there's artists, everything that you kind of think about that has been really successful, it usually takes time. And that's one thing that we don't know how much we have of, but if you're not even pushing, I remember Denzel said that. He said, if you don't fail, you're not even trying. That's one of the things that like stands out in my mind. If you never failed at anything, that means you're not even trying. It's okay to fail. It's part of your life. You're going to be failing like about things every day. But if you don't fail, that means you never even try to do something. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. But I just think, for those things, and you also got to be creative. Like I don't have a set style of writing. And I think a lot of poets nowadays don't. It's not like when Maya Angelou or Langston Hughes or some of the other great poets, back then James Baldwin, so I'm not sure back then, were, there was set stanzas and haikus and things like that. I have more of a creative freestyle way.
Okay.
So if I say I'm a descendant of kings and queens, manifestation of the word that's forgiven me and me he redeemed. Those right there, it has more of somewhat of a rap type of sound, but it's not. So I have, instead of me going too fast, I'm more in the middle. So that way it still has a poetic sound to it.
But I mean, it still sounds like it's like spoken word. You can kind of put it in a song if you wanted it to. You know what I mean? It's smooth. So
you could. So those are the things, like that's my style. I see a lot of poets, some other poets, they take their time and then they start talking, then they slow down, they start talking, or some just take their time. And they're telling a story. So I think it because of this, the new generation of style that I see is really based on the person and what you're connecting to.
So even going into that, my next question is who's your favorite poet and how did they inspire you? We named a couple right there, but like,
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was never one to like sit and read a lot of the old school poets.
Okay.
I read some of their stuff, not like to buy a book. If I had to be inspired now, my homie Face.
Okay.
He probably watches. He's gonna be on the show. His name's Michael, Face the Poet. He's amazing. My young sister, Tamani Rain, she's amazing.
Okay.
Silent Quill, he's dope. He's also a hip hop artist. This is the brother's brother out of New Haven. He's like a legend. Forget his name. I can't think right now. Influence, that's his name. He's amazing. I got a chance to see him.
Okay.
And this is other my girl D True Poetry out in Waterbury.
They're all going to be at the show?
Just Tamani, Silent Quill, and Face is going to be there.
Okay.
And then another guy named Warrior that I heard, he's out of Boston. So those people that I named, those are ones that I see, they, whether they know it or not, has influenced me to be better at performing, and I like listening to the stories that they tell.
Yep.
So that's what I kind of gather, and also my girl Passion, I can't forget about her. But but like the old school poets, like back in the day, like Maya Angelou was the phenomenal woman.
I think she always hits
that was an amazing poem. Yeah, well, you know, it is because Janet Jackson, and I'm a movie buff. I'm a movieologist. And are you?
Of course.
Oh, see? There we go.
On, bro.
That's that here. That's here. So,
we're here.
Right. So in Poetic Justice, when she was saying it sounds like she wrote, Maya Angelou wrote it as if anybody else could see it, and it captivates for women. You know, so I that was amazing. So and she lived the longest. You know, Langston Hughes died before we was even born. So, but Maya Angelou has more of an impact because she did live the longest. So we was able to actually see her. In movies and things like that, and feel that impact.
Yeah, that's what's up. So going into, we talked a little bit about the books, but what is your newest project? So what like your newest book that's out? You know, we talked a little bit about it before, but what's your newest project? If it's not that, what's going else? What else?
The two newest the two newest books that came out less than 5 months ago, Love and War, which is a relationship poetry book. Men and women can read it.
Okay.
Because it's not just the central. This obviously the central is at the end, but it's definitely a guide for a relationship. I think men can really pick it up and like really say, yo, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. And we talked about this
poetry type of poems.
We talked about this off camera, like how much of it is a guide for like guys that are going through it and it's on a rough end. You know what I mean? Like maybe their relationship's ending, you know, how you transition, how do you go through that, you know, either the stage of the breakup or the divorce, and like how do you survive? How do you move a certain way? I don't know. It's up to you. You could touch on that a little bit.
Well, the book, it's like I have one called Greener Sides, right? Okay. And we always, and the same, this is for men and women, by the way. So a lot of times when we say the grasses ain't always green on the other side, well, sometimes it is green. Sometimes it is. The point is you have to realize if it is for you, whether it's a man or woman, you have to realize that. If it comes for a man who's been going through this tough time, this relationship that hasn't worked out, then you have to make a decision. Women make decisions like that all the time because there are a lot of men that do dirt. So women have to make the decision all the time. It doesn't make you any less of a man if you have to make a decision that you feel is for the betterment of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And
we as men, we do that though. It's a pride complex. It's an ego complex. It's like we lost, and we're in nature. We're very competitive. So it's like I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to quit anything. But if you see something and it's a constant problem, it's a constant issue. If it's not, you know, like you learn from your experience, right? So
I mean, sometimes as a man or a woman, but like right now we're just talking about the men. Sometimes you have to start over. And at that point, they really showed like you have to be a man. Like no matter what, when you was taught to be a man as a kid, you was taught to stand up on your own 2 feet. So when it comes to transitioning into a different phase in your life, you have to do that. And you got to, by any means necessary, legally, you make your way in order to survive and take care of your children. And that, you know, that's it. The book talks about that. It doesn't really talk about the transition aspect, but it does talk about why you're in the relationship, whether what the man is doing wrong and what the female is doing wrong. So when women read that and when men read it, they can flip the sides if they're in that position. They can see both sides of the fence. And that's what I wanted to do with this particular book. I wanted to have it to where men and women both see the good and bad in relationships.
I mean, like when you think about it, right? There's when a relationship ends, if you are a person that is really prideful, you're always going to blame the other person and always say like it was your fault. Like there's deliberate situations, obviously, like someone
Yeah.
cheating or going out, they're sleeping around, or they're going outside their marriage, or whatever the case may be. There's deliberate things that I think anyone across the board, whether you have a belief in God, if you're a spiritual person, if you're just a person that's just worldly, there's certain things that people won't tolerate in terms of like a marriage or a relationship that you shouldn't break.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that people say, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, but you stay with the person and it worked out. So it really ends up being, it's your choice on whether it's a benefit to your life and what are you really benefiting. I hear a lot of people now, the modern concept is like your happiness, right? And I remember Kevin Samuels was big on, rest in peace, but like he was big on understanding what a marriage is. It has nothing to do with your happiness. There's a small piece of that. You have joy, but your happiness can change. So like literally, if you're basing your relationship and marriage on happiness, you're going to be married one day and be divorced the next, and then want to be married the next day. And it's going to be like, because you don't really understand the concept behind it. So going into like the family and all that stuff, like you were saying before, setting yourself up to benefit after everything is going south, and it goes south. What do you think are like the best options for guys? Because most of the time women have it, it's already set up usually with the court systems and in the states and all. There's other support, but men, we don't really get that. So what do you think is a good trait or path to go down if something like that happened to you?
Well, the number one thing that I would suggest for any man who is going through a transitional breakup is seeking therapy.
Okay.
Because a lot of times men won't go seek therapy, so now you're stuck with all these emotions, not knowing what to do. And a lot of times you be like, you know what, F it, she can have whatever, or she can do whatever, but not knowing what is your benefit, what can you do. But definitely therapy will help you create a path for yourself to see exactly what's the best benefit for you.
Okay.
The best benefit may be to work it out. The best benefit may be for you to move on. But that's number one. Number two, I think what most men don't realize is that when it comes to like child support, and back years ago, I wish I knew this, is that
teach them.
No, I'm being real. It's about having shared custody of your children.
Yeah.
Because now there's no dollar amount for time, right? Yeah. So now if you get shared custody, you have time for your children. Whether it's 3 days out every other week or 4 days out those weeks, and then on the weekends, because at that point you're investing your time. The court actually sees the time more than they will see the
money,
the dollar amount. Because if you go for shared custody, if you go for like just joint custody, it's a difference. But you go. Is
it like when you go in for joint and shared? Joint is like what, 70-30, or is it like literally 50-50? Like how does it work?
Well, basically, if I'm not mistaken, it's been so long. They really go by your salary. They really go by your salary. So if they go by the salary, then if the man makes a lot of the money, they're gonna.
Which usually that's something that's common, right?
Yeah. So so that's why I would say go to shared custody. But that way, when you do shared custody, it's not about the money. It's about you spending time with your child.
Yeah.
It's about that. And a lot of young fathers do not know that. A lot of older fathers, they may know that, but like myself, I wasn't even 30 yet. You know what I'm saying? So, and I wish I knew that then, so that way I would have more time with my children at that time versus me thinking it's about a money thing. I have to work extra hours.
Yeah.
But if you where you get your children regularly, then your mind won't be focused so much on the money. Your mind will be focused on spending time with your children. And understanding that. So that's probably the best advice I can give a young father who's going through it, who has a good relationship with their children. Now, if you a deadbeat ass father, you guys need to go to child support.
And that's what we were talking about off camera too. Even I agree. I think that if you're a father that is taking care of your kids, the court shouldn't even get involved with
like
telling you have to pay a certain amount. I take care of my kids. Why are you telling me that I have to pay a certain amount. My kids are gonna have a place to sleep. They're gonna have food. They're gonna have time with their family. Because that's what I do.
That's what you do, yeah.
You know, but if you're a deadbeat, bring his ass to court.
Listen, if you a deadbeat and you don't want to, now I'm getting innerish.
Yeah, that's what, like you ain't taking care of your kids, bro. Like
if you a straight deadbeat ass father, your ass need to pay as much as you need to pay.
Piece of shit.
A man shouldn't breathe if he don't want to take care of his kids.
And that's how I feel. I feel like every dude that I ever ran into, and he was like, "Oh, you got the flyest Jordans, you pushing a Beamer. Oh, I did, but you didn't take care of your kids. Nah. Like how are you any better than the piece of shit that I walked by?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you can. It's easy to do it like that. It's very easy to just set aside money and do this. But when you taking care of your kids, that's the hard part. I remember in the Bronx Tale, and he was like, you know, Sonny pulling the trigger is easy, but think about getting up day after day.
That's my part.
That's the tough
guy. That's my part.
Yeah,
listen, Cologelo.
Cologero. You know, but even in our society now, I think that's the hardest part that a lot of people don't pay attention to. That the fathers that actually take care of their kids get the least amount of respect. I think.
Yes.
I noticed that a lot when it comes down to like even the court system. You know, the child support, like you said, it's kind of like you have a kid, you take care of a kid. Now we're going to penalize you for you actually working hard. You worked hard all those years to get your salary a certain number, to buy a house for your family, make sure your wife was good. And now because the relationship ain't going right, now the courts are going to hurt you. And you were a father to take care of those kids. And you wonder why you have so much chaos. It's like,
I mean, that's why I say if you're a great father, you get shared custody, because a lot of times the relationship between the mother and the father is not good. You know, and the unfortunate part is the children in the middle get penalized for it. Yep. So in order to not let that happen, then you do that. And if you could build a relationship with the mother to co-parent, then you can work on that. But like I said, a lot of times you have to go to therapy. For me, back then I didn't go because I didn't know any better.
Okay.
I wish I knew that to go then back then, what I know now. But it's very important. I think therapy is very important because it definitely helps with the process of separation or divorce or child support, or anything, even for your own personal health, but definitely because it gives you direction. A good therapist. Some can't relate.
So going
I did that okay.
I mean it's something. I think it's across the board. It ends up being how do we get enough knowledge to not only the younger men and women, but it's kind of like a cultural thing. It's a worldwide epidemic. There's less and less people that are, like you're going back to like your poetry and your love. There's less and less people that are literally staying in love, understanding the challenges that actually come, that attack you when you're in love, right? Yeah. And then actually building those skills that actually keep your love strong. Like, you're going through stuff and you're working on stuff, but are you really working on you? Like, are you really working on you that's going to make you better for this? And once you're better for this, then you're going to be better for y'all. So it's like kind of like it's a building block. And if you don't really understand those components, it ends up being like it's a struggle. It's a recycle. It's a repetitionist, thing where you're always dealing with stuff. And like I said, your poetry, going back to the poetry thing, is the way that you put things together is typically the outcome, right? If you put a whole bunch of words together, it sounds fancy. It's like, but did it mean anything? Like you could put a couple of words together that's really stand out, and you'd be like, that really hit me here. You know what I mean? Like that hit me here. It felt different because, you put the words together that way. And that's the same way I think relationships are. You got to make sure that you hit those marks where,
I think in order for a relationship to stay fresh, you have to, it's not easy. Kind of got to reinvent your relationship. You got to continuously rekindle that flame. We can go into more detail later.
I mean, like I said, you're gonna be back on, so we can talk. We can talk. We're gonna have a whole segment on like relationship advice and stuff. I think even honestly, I wanted to go back into or create a separate segment. Because even when I was in the Army, a lot of the younger guys were coming up to me and they were asking me, like, I'm married, I got kids, done a lot of different things in my life. So they would always pick my brain on stuff. And I was like, I should just create some type of like advice thing for younger men, just to make sure that they're, because honestly, if the men were trained better and they learned and they got better advice, I think that would help a lot of different issues that we're hit with, especially in our community. Because a lot of the men don't have that advice from the right men. They have it like, oh, you go get some money, smash this one, and then before you know it, you're corrupted by how you thought it was, and then it's a cycle. Now your son is looking at you, and you can't say nothing because you was in the street. You got 4 different baby moms, and all this is going on, and all this other crazy stuff. It was never like no structure, and then you're expecting that from your son, but you don't know how to train them that way because you didn't learn yourself. So. It's hard, bro. It's a hard thing. What you're talking about it starts with love, but it's a hard.
My biological father died when I was 11. He had a cocaine overdose. He died when I was, so I don't. And prior to that, I didn't see him for 2 years, so I didn't really have a good I didn't have a relationship with him, so I only got like 2 memories. The Most High did put, I have my stepfather in my life. My uncles. So I seen positive men throughout my life. So I've been fortunate that way. Yeah. So, God will make a way for you to see somebody in your life. He's not gonna, if he's expecting you to make a change, like he wants you to make that change, he's going to put somebody positive in your life. Even if you put that mustard seed of faith in somebody, is going to grow at some point. So he's not going to just leave you haywire. But it's up to you to kind of recognize it.
And I mean, even in your situation, you got a little bit of both. So you're able to use that now to help somebody else that I couldn't relate to them. Maybe another dude can't relate to them, but you can relate to somebody that has gone through it the same way and utilize your knowledge to pass it on and help them, avoid the pitfalls. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. Nobody's perfect. You're gonna have your problems, but if you can help somebody avoid a situation, that's where like I'm thinking about, like, if I can help even one dude avoid a problem that I ran into as a young man, it would be beneficial to their life, and I don't know how they're gonna pass it on.
No, I agree. I totally agree with that.
That goes into my last question about what are your plans for the future? Like, what are your future plans? We talked about the book.
Well, on Valentine's Day, hopefully you and Tasha show up. I'm about to get a babysitter.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day at Jazz's Cabaret, I'm having. Oh, you got one already? All right, so I got to make sure.
Yeah, we got teenagers. We got babysitters for life now.
Oh, you good? You good? Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna send you the link offline so you can buy them tickets. But it's the Love Jones Experiment, the Valentine's Day edition at Jazz Cabaret, 4 Orange Street, New Haven, Connecticut. This is my first show in New Haven. This is my 6th show overall. So I started back. Me and Neil actually did the first 3 shows in Bridgeport at the Grill in October, and then we followed through a few months later. So with the show and tells, it's not like a typical poetry show. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because when most people go to poetry shows, it's just poets after poets after poet. Yeah. I'm not gonna give the secret of how I create or what goes in my mind, but I don't like to have downtime. I like to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So the crowd is not all poetry lovers. I create a blend between music and poetry. So I have Simone Monet and the Score. The band, they're amazing. I seen them on Saturday. They killed it. I have Sage Noel. She's out of Norwalk. She's a phenomenal singer. I have Denzel Williams. He's another great singer. I have myself. I got these are all poets now. Tamani Rain, Passionate P, Face the Poet. Face is actually a national poet. I got Silent Quill, who's also he's been in the poetry scene for years. I got a new girl. Her name is Metamorphosis. So like in the movie Love Jones, where he was like, Nina Moses, the virgin to the mic. So Metamorphosis, she's a virgin to the show.
Yeah.
And then I have two DJs. I got DJ Buddha.
Okay, he was at my wedding. That's my guy.
Oh yeah, that's my guy. I went to school with him.
Okay.
So from 7 to like 9:45, he's DJing. Then my man DJ Expo is finishing out the show. So doors open at 7. You come in, get your seat, 8 o'clock, get your food. The show starts at 9, ends at 11. Then I don't promote this part, but I got a show called Black Jeopardy that I do at intermission. So I pick up 3 women.
Okay.
Have them come up, sit down, then I ask them questions like a game show, and then the winner usually gets surprised. So before we go on to the quick questions, I'm gonna do a little Black Jeopardy with you. All right, you ready?
Okay, this is the first time I get asked questions, but all right.
All right. So
I'm not wrong because
no, you didn't get it wrong. You shouldn't. And the show Martin, right? Mm-hmm. Gina's original character was from what city?
Oh, God.
Listen. It's multiple choice.
Okay.
A, Chicago. B, Manhattan. C, Cleveland. Or D, Philadelphia.
Oh, God, I don't know. I know maybe Chicago.
No, she's from Philly.
Philly?
From Philly.
Yeah.
So now, and there was an episode. Remember the episode? They went to the They was in a bus station. Martin. He was in bus station. It was in a bus station. They was going to Philly, and Martin was fighting Miss Jerry because she said, "I don't want no damn tuna."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was an episode that they said she was from Philly.
Oh, okay, got you.
All the questions I had comes from somewhere. So I'm not going to answer that question only because if someone watches it, they're gonna know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, either way, I think because I could pull some of this to promote it, but they won't see it. You'll probably do the show and they'll probably laugh like, oh, they were talking about that on.
Okay, cool.
I may ask
that question.
Yeah, you good. That would be a good question because I don't know. Some people, I think like Tosh is like a Martin Carnosaur. She loved that show, and there's other people that would pick up on little things like that. That'd be dope. That's a dope concept.
No, it's good. I got another question that I'm gonna ask at the show. So that one's also it's a little harder too.
I'll be surprised on who gets that one.
Yeah, we gonna find out.
We gonna find out. What's up, man? Okay. That's the first time I got asked questions about me. So that's the first for my show.
Listen, that's Black Jeopardy. I have the DJ playing the Jeopardy song too. So when they answer it, he plays it. Listen, I'm silly, man.
I mean, it sounds good to me.
Listen, I kid you not. It's a New York vibe. When y'all come, y'all gonna have an amazing time. I promise you. You have an amazing time.
We'll see what happens. We'll see I never promise anything. I always say like I'm gonna do my best. So
listen, this is I was talking to my homie earlier. A lot of times men have a hard time planning stuff. I always plan stuff, but it all depends on how life is. You know what I mean? I leave it like I put it like that. I get it.
I put it like that.
I get it.
So that's it.
I'm gonna send you the link anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what's up. All right, so that's the professional questions. Obviously, if you want to contact Dre, and I always like to promote my artists and everybody that comes on my show, my guests. Phenomenal poet, businessman. He's got the books on Amazon. Make sure you buy a book, showcase it. Even that could be a gift. You got Valentine's Day coming up. Make sure you buy a book. Put it as a gift. That's what's up. And we're gonna go now into like the more personal questions.
Okay.
But it's really just to say, okay, like what are the things that you like in terms of this or that? If you got an option, this or that. So it's not really, you can't really lose. Okay?
Let's go.
All right, you ready?
Let's go.
All right. Who is the better franchise? Lakers or Celtics?
Lakers.
Lakers, okay.
Lakers right now. Lakers.
I'm a Lakers fan, so
I'm a Bulls fan, but
I was a
I'm gonna say
Bulls fan.
Lakers. Nah, I'm a Bulls fan. I'm gonna say Lakers though.
I was a Bulls fan for years, especially when Jordan was on, and then they just started changing for me. And I'm not like, for some reason, I'm not the same way I am with football. Football, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. That's just what it is. Hate him or love it, that's just me. But like basketball, I liked the Bulls years ago, maybe in the 90s, in the 2000s, early. And then I was like, I kind of like the Lakers. I like the color. I like the franchise. I think I'll be a Lakers fan. And then
I'm a Bulls fan. I've been a Bulls fan since 80. Showing my age now, 89.
Okay.
And I like watching the Nets. You know, I like some players. Like I like KD, but I'm a Bulls fan. Football, I'm a Bills fan.
Okay. Time. So that's on the other side.
Yeah, since 91.
Okay. I mean, like everyone's got their own team. You know, the Bills are kind of like a
I have reasons why. I'm history of why I like these teams. There's reasons why. So that's the reason why. Those reasons.
Right. I mean, like everybody, like I said, like I think sometimes with sports teams, you'll either watch a team with your father, your uncle, your grandfather, or something, and it's like, oh, I like that team because they like it. Like the Cowboys were something that me and my dad kind of bonded with because that was his squad. So I was like,
are you a delusional Cowboys fan, or are you like a real?
Oh hell no, not. I mean, I even have my other show. My other brand is Sports Fans Only. So like that brand we focus on all the sports. So we just did a recent thing, and it was all based on like the Cowboys and how they failed. And it is what it is. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not happy with what the Cowboys have done. So it's like I'm realistic.
No, but I have no problem with the Dallas Cowboys, right? Right. It just over the last few years, I'm like Stephen A. The Cowboys fans are very nauseating.
Yeah, I mean, if you're delusional and you're not really,
that's my issue.
If you're not really being, you're not taking accountability. So the thing that really pissed me off a lot was that when I heard Romo always saying, "Oh, we just have to get better," I'm like, "You have to get better? You're a professional athlete, bro. Like, how much better do you have to get? You have to figure out the problem, not you have to get better. Like, you're like the Yankees of the NFL. You have all the money. You got the
they got it. Like I like Dak. I'm a fan of Dak Prescott. I think
he pissed me off this year because he choked. I'm like, yo, you could
he choked. He choked. See, but that's real though. But you're not going on social media complaining.
Because I'm gonna ride with my guy, but if I seen him, I was like, yo, you choked, bro. What happened?
Listen, some people complain. I'm like, yo, wait till off season to complain.
Those are usually people that are bandwagon. Oh, you're winning. Now I'm on the team. Oh, you're losing. Now I don't post nothing. No, if I lost, I post. If I win, I post. I mean, if I win, I'm gonna really post. But like, you know what I mean? The reality is that I'm gonna ride with them, and that's it. I posted a picture today, and I had with my boy Ali. I had my jersey on for Thanksgiving. I mean, it is what it is.
But it was his birthday, right?
Yeah. Ali, his birthday.
So you get a pass for that because it's his birthday.
I mean, it is. I get a pass for him. Okay.
Yeah, you get a pass. Just don't wear it during Super Bowl time.
Oh yeah, it's over. So respect. All right. So this might be a little tricky, but better or best player. Okay. Let's say better player. Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe. That ain't tricky. Kobe.
Okay.
That's easy.
I mean,
Kobe.
LeBron just gotta.
Listen, I know we got. I'm up here now. Listen, my issue with LeBron fans is that they act like when you say LeBron is not the GOAT, they think you're hating. Yeah. It's not. I come from an era or a time where I'm watching these players get their asses kicked and still playing and winning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up Jordan and Kobe. Kobe 5-2 in the finals. Jordan 6-0.
Yep.
LeBron 4-6. There's no way you could be the GOAT and lose. Be 6-4, 7-3. Two different things. Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan would have continued playing, he would have broken. Like Jordan said, I'm not playing for the scoring title.
Yeah.
I played for the titles. I won.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe played to win. Now, what LeBron's about to accomplish is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But there's two sides to the ball. He's nowhere near the defender that those two gentlemen were, and their accolades show that.
I mean that's what a lot of the younger generation, they see LeBron, because I think LeBron is more social than the other two. I mean, he's definitely big on social media, and I don't knock him for any of the stuff he's ever done, because at the end of the day, you're talking about the three greatest players probably to ever live, and how to compare them against each other. Like, the reality is no person other than Kobe or Jordan can handle LeBron. And LeBron is probably the only person that can probably kind of play with both of them. So it's like,
I disagree in terms of the actual. I don't think no one can handle Jordan or Kobe. I think LeBron doesn't assert himself enough to the hoop.
Okay.
He settles too much for jump shots. He's been doing that for years. I think that's the difference. I don't think his mid-range game is as polished as those two. But
Kobe,
LeBron doesn't need
the only thing that I like to talk about with Kobe in general, because Kobe's usually in the middle. He's usually number 2, right? Most people don't consider him better than Jordan. But like, Kobe is literally like a copy of Jordan. Like that, the way he moved, his height, way he played. It's like, literally, if you just didn't have Jordan, you'd have Kobe, right? So if you have Kobe playing Jordan, it's literally kind of like he's playing himself.
Yeah.
But Kobe versus LeBron is like a total different game, because Kobe plays differently than LeBron. LeBron's a little bit bigger, a little more physical, but Kobe's better defender, and I think overall, all around, I think Kobe got a better.
I think his game is more smooth. I think LeBron is LeBron's a better passer than both of them. They can do the same things LeBron can do. They just didn't have to. They won the way they was doing.
Yeah.
I think that's what people fail to realize. But if someone says LeBron's not the GOAT, it don't mean you hate him.
Just that, they don't see it that way, though.
Say MJ the GOAT.
They always see it that way, so it don't matter.
But people say, when dudes say MJ's the GOAT, they don't never say MJ's the GOAT, but LeBron's not good.
Yeah.
They just don't say MJ's the GOAT, because we already know that. It's just when somebody else say it, then the old guys like, nah, listen, I seen Jordan play. LeBron's GOAT. My problem with LeBron is too many people won championships on his watch. Come on now. We can talk about that on your sports.
We can go into that. That could be a whole separate segment. So we just gonna move on. But LeBron is, I put it like this, in the questions, like I said before, it's not really a loss. It's just to see what you like. You know what I mean? What your preference is, because we can debate it and we can go on.
I like when it comes to sports, I like killers. The Lakers franchise, whether you like them or not, throughout up until probably now, they all had killers. Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Shaq, Kobe. They had killers. When it comes to Kobe, killer. If you, I'm ready for the next question.
All right, even a combination of artistry, right? Who is a better artist, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh man,
I can't give you the easy ones.
Damn.
Tread lightly.
Well, the better artist.
Better artist.
Damn. I didn't think it was gonna be that. I didn't think it was gonna be that hard.
I tried to tell you.
People gonna kill me, but I'm gonna say Michael Jackson.
There you go. I mean, but you can see that, even the skill wise, because some people don't say, like, all right, you say Michael. I've always said Michael too. That's the guy I would pick out of the two. But Prince can play literally every instrument on earth. Yeah. In terms of performance wise, Mike, I think, has him because he can dance and sing. They both made a certain amount of hits. My argument is that Michael has done it almost every decade that he was alive. And he's done it from a young age until he was old.
Yeah.
So it kind of like the longevity, kind of going back into the LeBron question, is like the longevity kind of makes him stand out a little bit more to me. But I could see the debate. I could see the argument. So we're gonna put it.
For me, if you ask, this is how I answer my question real quick. If you're asking me who would I pick to listen to music for 2 hours, I'm picking Michael Jackson's music because to me, some of Prince stuff is like I can't get with the sound.
Yeah.
Now he's one of the best, extremely talented. So if you like Prince, you like Prince. You know, there's certain songs I really like. I think it's dope. But if you remember the time, Dirty Diana, Bad, like I can name.
I mean, you can just keep going down the list.
So I can. The reason why I say because these songs for me resonated with me, and I still play them now. Yep. I don't pick a Prince song and say I'm gonna play this song right now. I do.
I think the only one that most people would know of that stands out obviously is Purple Rain. Like that's the only one that like everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean I know that one. I know Red Berry Beret.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I know a few. So I just actually listened to Prince maybe like a week ago. Just kind of like listen to some of his sounds and stuff like that. I got Michael in one of my playlists, so like I'm always listening to Michael Jackson. Yeah,
I mean, and then you got the people that were like emulated Michael, like you got like the Chris Browns, the Neos, you know, the Ushers. Like these are people that are great in their own right.
Yeah,
but they wouldn't have been who they are if Michael wasn't there. Exactly. You know what I mean? I don't really see that many other people that. I mean, like they probably would say, "Oh, Prince was the person that inspired."
You got Miguel. You got what's my man name? The Dream. You know, he had a couple.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But I mean, like the Dream.
So you got
the Dream and Miguel. They were kind of like, if you were to look at them and say, do they emulate? Maybe Miguel, maybe a little bit. I don't think the Dream is like. I think the Dream is more like Timberland. Like he's more like a copy of like Timberland.
Yeah, some of the bases. Yeah,
like not even like so much of like the sound, but like he's a producer.
Yeah,
he does play instrument stuff, but like
I'm a music person. I'm more like I know more movies. Like you playing certain songs, I probably don't know who they are, but like I can put music together, like songs that I like, and say you want to like say the DJ canceled 3 hours before your event. You like, bro. Dre, bro, you got music? Sure, here you go.
Yeah. I got a good playlist, a good blend.
Listen, it can rock. You know what I'm saying? So I have that, like, you know, but I'm an R&B dude to the core, though.
Yes, see, that be like,
right?
Come on, bro, like, come on now.
That's that Libra.
Oh yeah, it's like you know what we was talking about before. It's like I think because Libras are their sign is governed by like love. It's traditional to think like R&B is a sound of love and like neo soul. I like neo soul, R&B. You know, I like hip hop obviously, but like R&B would be the one I would choose if I could listen to any.
I mean, I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm listening to R&B. My favorite artist is Joe. You know.
Okay, mine's Neo. So it's like,
Neo's dope though.
Yeah.
Neo's dope. Now you got 4 kids, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so me too. So I say that R&B.
Yeah, that R&B got you. That's what he did. That's what Joe got you. That's what he did. Got you. That's what the R&B got us. Yeah.
It did. It did.
That's what it got us.
It did.
Carry on. All right. Well, so the next question is: are you team? This is more like a nerd question because I like the comics and movies and stuff like that. Are you team Marvel or team DC?
Come on, man. Oh God. And I watch them all.
I mean, if you gotta choose, who you going with?
If I had to choose,
you going with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, or you going with Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor? Or
I gotta right now for years I gotta go with Marvel. But listen, I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you, matter of fact, Charlemagne said this. He was like, Marvel has the best, longest concurrent storyline. They created a Marvel Cinematic Universe, so now everybody's doing that. Power Universe, 50's doing it. So they kind of set a trend.
Yeah.
You know, if you asking me, now I've seen all the DC movies. You know. Probably one that Marvel, I mean, they're different because DC has more of a darker tone to their movies. Now, I didn't really read the comics growing up, but I will go back to see where the story's coming from. The Dark Knight was probably one of the best trilogies in movie history.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you got Marvel, where they just start creating the event. They just hit after hit after hit. Black Panther, absolutely phenomenal. Like how can you top that? Then you come out with Spider-Man, No Way Home. It's mind blowing. So now they working off of 8 other films to create this film.
That one. Yep.
Listen, man, you better put me in one of your movies behind the scenes. I know
I
my
got
shit.
you. I told you.
Listen, I know my shit. But then now I go back to DC. The last Batman, the Matt Reeves one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, people didn't like it, but if you go back, Batman is a detective.
Yep.
Always been a detective.
He's the greatest detective.
Detective.
You know, a lot of people, when they like, Batman's my favorite character out of everybody.
He's amazing.
But it's the reality between the two universes. This is how I've heard from other people as well, and I agree, is that Marvel, in terms of the comic book company, I think you like one or the other, right? You like certain characters and you say, I would rock with them more. But in terms of the cinematic universe, Marvel did it right. DC is still lacking. So, you know, they announced that they're going to have a new slate and they're rebooting everybody and all this other stuff. That's great. But Marvel actually set the tone for a real movie. I remember watching the Avengers for the first time, and I was like, I would have never thought that would have ever been possible, let alone
right?
Make it that good. I'm like, yo, they
did it right.
Respect is respect. They made a comic book movie that changed history. Now everybody's making comic book movies. Everybody's part of the comic books. Comic book is the largest thing, and that used to be the little nerd thing. People would be like, "Oh, you reading those comics? That's not even real literature." Now they go to that as like a mythology. You know what I mean? It changed everybody's.
It's art. It's art. You're an artsy person, so I didn't go to comic book because it never was like shown to me regularly. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have a big brother to say that was like, "Yo, check these comics out." I was the big brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I mean, like you saying right there. It was back in the day. It used to be something that had its own little like pocket.
Yeah.
Either you were in it or you weren't. Like a little niche, like they had Comic Cons for years, but it didn't get big until like now. It's kind of like it's literally like a household name. You could say Thor, and there's old ladies that know who Thor is. You know what I mean? Like it's Spider-Man. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is, but everybody knows Superman. They know Batman. They know Wonder Woman.
They know them all. Like to be honest, I'm gonna tell you where DC went wrong at. DC, and I thought Justice League was a solid move. I gave it a B.
Yeah.
Where they went wrong at is they just came straight out with the movie instead of having the follow up like Marvel did. You should have did the same exact thing. Yeah. Because then they tried to do it, but now it's up in the air.
All messed
like Black Adam was dope. Adam was dope, but now you don't want to do Black Adam.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was amazing.
Yeah.
They said it was dope.
You know?
They just screwed up with the Justice League. Yeah. And now you gotta
like backtrack. Yeah. And it don't look right. Now it's like, okay, just throw it all away and just reboot everybody. You
gotta listen.
They made a mistake. They messed up. They didn't want to go in Marvel's shadow because they were like in competition. We don't want to be like Marvel, so we can do it another way. And they just screwed it up. It's just like making a movie. You build up like a climax.
Exactly.
In a story. You build up and then you drop them all in one movie. Now they say debatable. They could have came out with just the first movie could have been Justice League. And they could have had all the other movies individual, which I don't know if they would have made the same amount of money or whatever, because there's certain people in the movie you'd be like, where are they coming from? Who's this? Who's that?
Yeah.
You know? And then Marvel was like, I'm going to take this one. You're going to see Iron Man. Then you're going to see Hulk. Then you see Thor. Then
they did it right. That's how they did it.
Now you're going to put them all together. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's more of a logical path.
Yeah.
But
I think DC's on the right path. And if they keep that, like the Joker, I don't know if they're gonna keep doing standalones, but those type of Batman movies, they're not the same. You can't put them into.
You can't put them in the same universe.
You know, so I don't know exactly what they're doing, but after Justice League, like, you know, that's when it kind of went sour.
Yeah, it was just like, all right.
And I thought Ben Affleck, he was a good Batman.
Yeah, originally when I first heard him as casted, I was like, really? Like, you don't got nobody else in Hollywood? Except he already played Daredevil. I'm like, yo, you like, come on. And then I saw him in the suit, and I saw him in the movie. I was like, yo, he's like literally my favorite Batman. I was mad.
I listen, man. I'm still with Christian Bale.
Yeah. I mean, but Bale's storyline's over, so I wouldn't see him in the new.
No. But
Christopher Nolan did it like that with he didn't want to put him in no cinematic universe, and obviously those Batman movies are classic. That they got Oscars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, those are amazing. Robert Pattinson did a good job too, though.
Yeah. He stepped up, so we'll see. I said another topic. Keep going. The last question before we get out of here is a scenario question. Okay, so it's you go to a bar and you're getting a drink. Somebody bumps into you, right? Dude wants to fight you. You look over and there's two dudes chilling. You get to pick one of them dudes to help you. But your opponent, the guy that wants to fight you, gets the other dude, okay? So it's 2-on-2.
Okay.
Who are you going with, all right? Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali?
Mike Tyson. Muhammad Ali's the better boxer, and Mike Tyson's. I need to meet his crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I've heard people debate it. Me personally, I'm going with Mike. I'm going with Mike if we outside. Anything outside the ring, I'm going with Mike. So it doesn't matter. But I know people that said Muhammad Ali, he's smarter, so he could figure out a way to get out of a situation. He's taller, so literally you don't know how Muhammad Ali would fight outside.
That all gets negated because it's your decision to fight.
Yeah.
So if it's my decision to fight, if I can't get out of it, Muhammad Ali can't get out of it. I'm picking Mike. Mike Tyson, because Mike's mentality is it's either killed or be killed.
Yeah.
That's how the world is.
And I mean, either person, you don't have a bad shot. But if you were to think if Mike's on the other team, you got a bad situation.
Yeah, if he's on the other team, I'm walking out. I'm going to my car, going home.
if you make it that far, right?
Listen, I'm leaving. Listen, I'm 6'2", Mike Tyson 5'10". I'm not getting hit by Mike Tyson.
I mean, that's the problem. You get hit by him, right? And Muhammad's beating the other dude because they were one of the dudes that saw my show. He was like, "Well, if I'm fighting and if I beat my opponent and Muhammad Ali and Tyson are fighting, Muhammad Ali is gonna last a little longer than me, so then we can both fight him." And then, you know what I mean? You're both fighting Mike. That's a strategy.
But listen, when you in the bar, there's no boxing. You fighting. You fighting.
Yeah. So I'm like, Mike's picking up chairs, pool tables, all kinds of shit, trying to bite you, kick you. He doesn't care about that, So yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike too. So that's what's up. All right, bro. Like I said, we could go on. I'm gonna have you on again. We're gonna have some other.
Before we go, I'm gonna spit this poem. I want to end with a poem. I'm Black. Mm-hmm. So this is in a socially conscious book, and since it's Black History Month, at about 2 hours and some change.
There you go.
I'm a descendant of kings and queens. The manifestation has forgiven me, and me he redeemed. I'm a prince of many nations, from past beginning to beginning's end. And I'm a seed from the motherland, and I yearn to feel her soil again. I'm in the midst of an unknown continent, far away from my home. But through all my yokes and transgressions, I shall overcome because Father's not left me alone. I've been through 400 years of captivity, survived countless beatings, been persecuted, and felt the feeling of police brutality. Yet I am still here. My heart and my soul bear witness to the Most High. To him I give the glory in heaven. When I die, I shall open my eyes. But here on earth, the struggle continues. The saga remains the same. Why am I only celebrated in February? Why not place me in American history?
What's up?
Free. Why am I not treated equal? You needed me to win your Revolutionary War because your soldiers refused to fight for their own independence when the British was at their door. I'm Black. And I'm proud to be who I be, from the love of my heart that God has given to my God-given athletic ability. My social conscience transcends across the world because the world took notice. They want to adapt to my style, my rhythm, my unique way of how my life is lived. They want everything that God has given me, except the most important thing, the color of my skin. I'm Black.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
Tough. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, I gotta get that. That's what's up. That's the first time I heard that.
That's my favorite. I don't.
That's tough.
But at my show, I don't perform that one because the content is really about love and relationships.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can always. That's a deep. I mean, there's no way that you can be a Black person and it doesn't resonate on some level. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We have a obligation and responsibility to utilize every skill that we've ever acquired as a person to not only benefit you, benefit your culture, benefit your family, but it's a responsibility because there's just so many people that have, even sometimes when I think back, I get angry a little bit because of all this, the things that happen. And then I always look at how do you honor them is just to, do the best that you can with your life. Not so much about who you're dealing with or what you're doing and all this other stuff, but just, don't be an asshole. That's you know what I mean? You've gotten to this point, your race is always be challenged. I don't think it'll really ever completely go away. But you have the responsibility to not only, share what help someone else, but really enjoy your life because that's what they all work for anyways, to have freedom, to have the ability to be equal and to work hard to get certain things. And that's really it. You know what I mean? Yes. So
I agree, my brother.
That's deep.
Well, I just want to thank you for having me, man. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to many more. And I'll see you on Valentine's Day.
Where can people find you? Where can people find you online?
I just have Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is Dre Romero, the poet. I also have Dre Romero Entertainment, which is my business site. Facebook is Dre Romero, and then the same thing, Dre Romero Entertainment. So those are I'm trying to get into the other ones, but they don't really interest me too much. So
I mean, there's a lot of them. It's just like
I really stick to two. So
yeah.
But so everybody, I appreciate y'all taking time out to watch me, listen to me, and hopefully I'll be back soon.
That's what's up. Well, like I said, thank you, brother. We always we're gonna be talking a lot about other stuff, but if I can get you on the show, pick your brain, help somebody else, that's really what I'm using my platform to do, just help people the best.
Thank you. This is a dope platform here, and I'm proud of you too, man. My birthday twin, man. Libras all day.
That's it. Libras all day.
Libras the best. Libra gang, baby. Libra gang, Libra gang.
That's it. So, like I said, thank you for being on the show. For the fans and audience, we'll see you in the next episode. And make sure you share, subscribe, and let people know about the content. Let people know about Dre, everything that he's doing. Great things for not only for him as an artist, poet, but community and as a Black man. Black History Month is coming up, so showcase the talent that we have, especially in the local area in Connecticut.
Definitely.
Definitely. So,
all right,
bro.
All right, man. Peace out. All right, brother. Peace.